Good evening to all. Welcome you all to the daily current affairs session brought to you by Ganesh IAS Academy for the date 7th July 2023 for the news which was appeared in Indian Express newspaper. Okay, let's get straight into the news. The first news is related to the India International Conference on furthering green hydrogen as the future fuel for better world. So currently the international conference is taking place in India. So let's get into the content of the news. So India is taking a green lead in green hydrogen to make it as a future fuel, not only making it as a future fuel for domestic purpose, but also as a future fuel for global aspect as well. Because India is eyeing an opportunity to export the excess amount of green hydrogen that India is going to produce to the global market, so that there could be a transition of energy from fossil fuel to sustainable fuel could take place. This is the aim of India. So in that direction, India is taking a move towards having a green hydrogen manufacturing facility in India. For that, a national green hydrogen mission was formed earlier itself. So India set a goal of in the Panchamrit of climate goals, which India has given to the India has made a promise to the UNFCCC, in which India set a goal of 500 gigawatts of non-fossil fuels to be non-fossil fuel installed capacity by 2030. This is the one of the promise out of the 5 promises that India made in United Nations Framework for Convention on Climate Change. See, as I have said, India is taking a lead by framing a national mission for green hydrogen to produce the green hydrogen in the country, so that which is producing the green hydrogen in the country itself, so that the quantity could be useful for the domestic purpose and the surplus of which could be used for the global purpose. India currently ranks 4th globally in the renewable energy capacity. This is the one of the prelims fact. And India's renewable energy sectors grows at 2.26 times in the last 9 years. Almost it has grown more than double 2 times than the last 9 years. Reforms like expansion of capacity, transmission, consumption, and making the supply chain and renewable are the areas in which the reforms related to transforming from fossil fuel to renewable energy is taking place. Schemes like Kusum scheme, rooftop scheme, solar park scheme, these are all the schemes which allows a common citizen to have access to the renewable energy, taking the renewable energy to the common citizen of India. These are all the content of the news which appeared in the today's newspaper. So let's get into the one step deeper into the conceptual areas of the news. Since the news is related to green hydrogen, we have to know about what does the green hydrogen mean. It is the method of producing hydrogen using the electrolysis of water. Electrolysis is nothing but using electricity. Water could be converted into hydrogen as well as oxygen. If a particular electricity comes from green means, that is, if the particular electricity is coming from renewable sources means, such kind then the corresponding hydrogen which is produced from the electrolysis is called as green hydrogen. So what does green hydrogen mission mean? India wants to become, as I said, a global leader in the green hydrogen. So India set up a target of becoming energy independent. That is, right now India is dependent on Middle East countries and most of the Western countries and also Russia for its energy needs. So, in order to reduce the dependency from other countries and to make ourselves as self-sufficient and independent from the others' help, India wants to set a target of becoming independent by 2047, and also India set a target of achieving net carbon by 2070. For this, India aims to achieve renewable energy across sectors. It can be transport, it can be service sectors, it can be manufacturing sectors, it can be and agriculture sectors. Across all the sectors, India is vying to achieve the energy, renewable energy based production as well as services. So hydrogen has the since hydrogen has the capacity for long duration storage, and also it could be easily replaced with non replaced with fossil fuel in transport sectors, so that, and at the same time the these green hydrogen could be easily decentralized. Their production could be easily decentralized. It does not need any kind of centralized activity as in the case of coal as well as crude oil productions. So these are all the benefit of hydrogen, so that India is vying for green hydrogen mission. The mission aims to has aimed certain outcomes. So the mission has some goals. First is development of green hydrogen, production capacity by 5 MMT, and over some 8 lakh crores needed investment in the green hydrogen area sector, and also through the investment and creation of the green hydrogen capacity, the mission aims to create some 6 lakh jobs, and also cumulative reduction in the simultaneously, since the production of green hydrogen, that is, it is non-fossil fuel taking place, means then there will be a corresponding reduction of fossil fuel will be taking place. Because of the reduction of fossil fuel and the increased production of green hydrogen locally, there could be saving of import cost could take place. So government aims to achieve the savings of 1 lakh crore through this mission, and also abatement of nearly 50 mmT of annual greenhouse gases. The mission aims to reduce the annual greenhouse gas emission by nearly 50 mmT because of the usage of fossil fuels. So these are all the quantitative goal of the National Green Hydrogen Mission, which the Government of India aims for. So this is the advantage because of which the Government of India is aiming to produce hydrogen through green means. Green means through renewable energy sources. So since the news has mentioned about Kusum scheme, we have to know about what does Kusum scheme mean. Kusum scheme aims to add the solar capacity of 30,800 megawatts by 2022. It has 3 components. First is producing 10,000 megawatt of solar capacity through installation of small solar power plant of small solar power plants of capacity up to 2 megawatts, and then connecting this to small solar plants to mega solar plants, as a result of which they are aiming to produce 10,000 megawatts. Component B is installation of 20 lakh standalone solar power agriculture pumps. By installing wherever the installation of the smaller solar power plants couldn't take place, means in such area, that is in area apart from this place where the component A is going to be implemented, such area will have the standalone, that is they don't get connected to the any kind of grid. As a result of which, the farmers could able to produce some solar powers and use the solar power for their own purpose, and they could sell the surplus solar power to the discom companies at the predetermined tariff rate. This is the aim of the component B. So as a result of which there could be production, because of the implementation of component B, there could be production of solar power, and also there could be some revenue earning. Revenue earning will take place by the agriculture farmers by producing and selling the solar power to the discom companies. Third is converting some 1.5 million existing grid connected agriculture pumps to solar pumps. These are all the three components of question scheme. So through these three components, the scheme aims to add about 30,800 megawatts by 2022. And it is being, since the solar power is the renewable energy, it is being implemented by Ministry of New and Renewable Energy. So, and also the news mentions about solar parks. So we will look into what does solar park mean. Solar park is scheme plans to build a number of solar parks, each with a capacity of nearly 500 megawatts across several states. It is kind of using the space for producing solar energy. The capacity of each space through which the solar energy could produce this is 500 megawatts, and it is being implemented by Ministry of New and Renewable Energy. So what we needed to study further so that we could able to have some deeper understanding about the peripheral areas of the news are, since we have studied about green hydrogen, that is producing hydrogen through the electricity produced by green means, that is renewable energy means. Then so we have to know about what does gray hydrogen mean, and also what does blue hydrogen mean, and what is the difference between gray hydrogen, blue hydrogen, as well as green hydrogen mean. And we have to know about the energy distribution in India. What percentage of fossil fuel is being produced in India, and what percentage of non-fossil fuel is being produced in India, and among and below the fossil fuel there are some subcomponents. We should have some idea about what percentage does the each subcomponents is produced under the fossil fuel. Similarly, under non-fossil fuel we have to know about the under what percentage does the each subcomponent under non-fossil fuel is producing, what percentage of non-fossil fuel is produced in India. And also we should know about the crude import in India, and crude import in India, and which are all the countries contributes to crude import for India, and what are all its environmental impact, and how many refineries are present in India, and how many of them are privately owned or publicly owned. So we have to have some fair idea about them also. And we have to know about the national climate change missions. Under that climate change missions, there are some 8 sub-missions being implemented in India to get, so that to transform India from fossil to non-fossil fuel economy. First is National Solar Mission. Second is National Mission for Enhanced Energy Efficiency. Then National Mission on Sustainable Habitat. Then National Water Mission. Then National Mission for Sustaining the Himalayan Ecosystem. Then National Mission on Strategic Knowledge for Climate Change. Then National Mission for Green India. Then National Mission on Sustainable Agriculture. These are all the sub-missions of national climate missions, under which is being implemented in India to transform India from non-fossil fuel to fossil fuel economy to non-fossil fuel economy, as a result of which there could be mitigation and adaptation of the climate change could take place. Making a rupee a global currency. Why and what are all the benefits? This is the news. What the news has mentioned is RBI's interdepartmental group has recommended to make our rupee as international currency because it is has some because our rupee has a potential to become the international currency. The internationalization means promoting the rupee for import and export trade, and then other current account transaction and capital account transaction. That is using rupee rather than dollar for paying for import as well as export, and then for other current account and capital account transaction. Such kind of promotion is called as internationalization of rupee. There is a caution across global countries that, as we all know, US is making sanctions on certain country which doesn't align with the interest of US. So if US is making some sanctions on that particular country, means there could be blockage of dollar transaction with the country with the country on which the transaction has been made. Sanction has been made will takes place. So sorry, online. அதாவது those country on which the sanction has been made, there could be some blockage in the supply of dollar currency will takes place. So that the country which is being impacted by the US sanction could not able to transact to the outer world with the use with the usage of dollars currency. As a result of which they have to find some other via media through which they could able to have the import and export to the other outside world. So in future scenario, if US is making some sanctions on a particular country means, and we should not get அந்த டைம்ல போயிட்டு we should not get bogged down. So we should find better than before. We should find a other via media to bypass the sanction of US. For that this internationalization of currency will be very useful. So this is the talks is going on across the global right now. Cross-border transaction of rupee will have some kind of advantages. As we all know, because of the transaction between the country takes place with the most of the transaction between the country takes place with the help of dollar currency, then euro currency, then sterling pounds, then Chinese currency and Japanese currency. So if we are using rupee as the medium for the transaction between our country and the outside world, means there is no need for us to maintain some forex reserve in India. So maintaining some forex reserve in India will have a huge cost on economy itself. So if we are transacting through the rupee currency to the outside world, means there is no need for maintaining the forex reserve in India, as a result of which the cost on the huge cost on maintaining the forex reserve in India could be saved. Second is, there could since our dependency on other currency will be reduced because of the usage of our own currency to the international transaction. So there won't be any kind of volatility or currency risks will takes place, as a result of which a business in our country will be very stable, and also the cost of transaction of a business from one country to another country will be very less because of the reduced volatility of the currency. So these are all the two advantages that will happen when we are internationalizing our own domestic currency. So this is the content of the news that is mentioned in newspaper. Let's get into the details of the news, the conceptual part. Since it has talked about internationalization, that is using our currency to import or export and other current accounts and capital accounts balance to the other country. we have to know about what does convertibility means. It is the facility of exchanging domestic currency for foreign currency at market determined price. There should not be any kind of restrictions should be made in transaction or exchanging the domestic currency for foreign currency. So whenever there is exchange taking place in domestic currency for foreign currency at a market determined price, means such type of exchange is called convertibility. If the current account convertibility refers to freedom, if such kind of convertibility takes place in current accounts, means it is called as current account convertibility. And if such kind of convertibility takes place in capital account, means it is called as capital account convertibility. What is the status of convertibility in India? Right now, India is following full convertibility in current account. But in the case of capital account, there is no full-fledged convertibility as taken place. But the government of India has appointed committee, SS Tarapur committee, has recommended to introduce fuller capital account convertibility, but it has not been implemented so far. This is the situation of convertibility in India. So what we needed to study further is, we have to know about Forex Reserve of India. Since we are dealing with capital account and current account, import, export, so that we could, and also internationalization of rupee, we should know about Forex Reserve of India. Second is, we have to know about what does capital account and current account means, and what are all the components under which it comes. Third is Forex. We have to know about balance of payment. These are all the other areas which we needed to study so that we could have some holistic understanding of the news itself. India signs MOU with Tanzania to set up IIT Madras campus in Tanzania. This is the first overseas university that is going to be set up in abroad. The IIT Madras branch will be set up in Tanzania, and this is the first IIT branch abroad. It is going to be established in Zanzibar. Zanzibar is the semi-autonomous province of Tanzania. We have to know about the places also, because there could be match the following questions will be asked in prelims. There are three criteria which the IIT Madras has followed to select a particular particular country for its expansion in abroad to abroad. What are all the three criteria? Are those country which supports some strong educational system, and those country which demands for IIT in that country. Then third criteria is the support from the host government itself. If the government is strongly supporting the setup of IIT in their own country, means the own country. These are all the three criteria which the IIT Madras as அந்த த்ரீ கிரைட்டீரியா வச்சு தான் ஐஐடி மெட்ராஸ் வந்துட்டு அந்த எந்த கண்ட்ரியில் வந்துட்டு ஐஐடி மெட்ராஸ் வந்து செட்டப் பண்ணுன்றதை ப்ராசஸ் பண்ணாங்க. as a result of which Tanzania is fulfilling all the three criteria, so they decided to move on with Tanzania. So this enhances or increases the soft power diplomacy of India, and it also shows that India is having a concern regarding to global south. So what does the global south means? It includes countries from Asia, Africa and South America. Why only Asia, Africa and South America is those countries which have same kind of wealth, same kind of education and same kind of health system. Such kind of countries are grouped together and are called by common name called global south. That is, the country which comes under global south are mostly developing or underdeveloped or small island state countries. Those countries which are grouped under global north countries are mostly developed, and they have some developed wealth resource and developed education system and developed health system. Such countries are called as global north country. Since India is being one of the leader of developing country, it comes under the fold of global south. Since India is uh, one of the leader among the developing country, it is having some concern related to concern for the other countries which are present in the global south. So as a part of the concern for the global south, India is right now showing its implementing her soft power diplomacy in those countries as அதில் ஒரு ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஸ்டெப் இல்லை, நிறைய ஸ்டெப்பில் இது ஒரு ஸ்டெப். Among many steps, this is one of the steps which the government of India has made to set up a university in other country, particularly in the global south. So what does this IIT mean? IIT is a centrally funded technical institute across India. It comes under Ministry of Education. It is not an autonomous body. It comes under Ministry of Education. It is governed by IIT Act. There is a separate act for IIT itself. It is institute for excellence. It is being created to produce persons with high technological advancement, to give students with high technological advancement environment, as a result of which they could able to learn, adapt the technology, and can contribute to the development of the country as a whole. This is the objective under which the IITs has been formed. There are total 23 IITs in India. Among them, the first IIT to be set up in India is IIT Kharagpur in 1951 in West Bengal, followed by a report of N.R. Sarkar. N.R. Sarkar has reported under the N.R. Sarkar has recommended that there should be some 4 high-level technical educational institutions should be formed in India. As a result of this committee's recommendation, IIT Kharagpur was formed in West Bengal in 1951. So this is the news related to IIT. So we have to know about the Tanzania itself. It was formed as a sovereign state in 1964 through unification of Tanganyika and Zanzibar. These are the two independent countries which joined together to form a country called Tanzania in 1964. Dodoma is the official capital of Tanzania. The Africa's highest mountain peak called Kilimanjaro and world's second deepest lake, Tanganyika, are present in Tanzania itself. So these are all the conceptual part which we needed to be aware of. What are the other things which we should be aware of so that we could have some peripheral idea about the news sources? We have to know about the border area of Tanzania. What are all the countries that borders? What are all the lakes that borders the Tanzania? So on and so forth. And about the regulatory bodies of education in India, AICTE and UGC. Then also we should know about National Educational Policy 2020. These are all the things which we should know about. Okay, there is some another news is called Gita Press, which was formed in 1923. 1923. This year is 100th year celebration of that press. And right now, our Prime Minister is going to visit this press in the coming days. and this prize was awarded Gandhi's Peace Prize in 2021. This is the news which appeared today. So we have to know about the details of the news. About the Gita's Press itself. It was located at Gorakhpur. It is located at Gorakhpur in Uttar Pradesh. It was founded in 1923 by Jaya Dayal Goyanka and Ghanshyam Das Jaram. Initially, it was started to publish error-free Bhagavad Gita to masses. Later, it founded magazine called Kalyan and Kalyana Kalpatru to propagate the Bhagavad Gita to the masses. And this Gita Press was selected for Gandhi's Peace Prize in 1921. So, what does Gandhi's Peace Prize mean? Gandhi Peace Prize is award given for social, economical, and political transformation through non-violence. It was instituted in 1995 as a respect for Mahatma Gandhi. During 1995, only 125th birthday of Mahatma Gandhi takes place. As a result and also in remembrance of which the Peace Prize, Gandhi's Peace Prize, was formed. The award carries an amount of rupees 1 crore, a plaque, a citation, and the traditional handicraft traditional handicraft or items which is made of handlooms. These are all the things which will be given along with the Gandhi's Peace Prize. And the award is conferred by President in Rashtrapati Bhavan. The award will be given to any individuals or associations or institutions or organizations. The decision to confer this award to a particular individual, association, institution or organization is given to a jury headed by Prime Minister of India itself. So this is the details of the news. What we needed to study about the peripheral areas of the news is we have to know about the directive principles of state policies of India, particularly in the Gandhi's principles of DPSP. Second is we have to know about the role of press during our freedom movement, and also we have to know about the Article 19 of Indian Constitution itself. These are all the things which we should know about so that we could have some holistic understanding about the news. Okay. As we are right now, the bilateral talks between India and US has recently been concluded. Among the outcome of the talks, one of the outcome is India and US are going to train and launch their astronauts to International Space Station. So what ISRO said about the scheme is the US training will give some add-on experience to our astronauts, as a result of which this training experience could be useful for our developing our manned mission training in India itself. This is the statement given by ISRO chairman today during the G20 meeting which happened today. So what does International Space Station means? This is the details of the news. The International Space Station is a space station or a habitable artificial satellite which is present in lower Earth orbit. The International Space Station was launched in 1998 as a part of a joint effort by US, Russia, Japan, Canada and European Space Agency. These are the 5 countries which is responsible for manufacturing and putting the ISS in the orbit. Third is it was originally made to study about the space situation that is prevailing outside the Earth. So which could be useful for understanding about the origin of the universe and any other the research work that is uh, going on means such research. This idea could be useful for such kind of scientific researches. Then the ISS, International Space Station, was originally built to operate for 15 years, but the space station has already surpassed the checkpoint of being active for 21 years, which plans to continue till 2030. There is no plan right now to drop the installed space station. Till now, what they have said till 2030, the ISS will be continue to operate in this space. About Gaganyaan mission. So experience which our astronauts gains from the US training to the space will be useful for implementing the Gaganyaan mission, that is our Indian manned space mission in India, for developing protocol for training related to the manned space mission in India. Such kind of statement was given by ISRO chairman today. So we have to know about what does Gaganyaan mission mean. Gaganyaan mission is an India crewed orbital spacecraft that is intended to send 3 astronauts to space for a minimum of 7 days by 2023 as a part of India's human spaceflight program. But this date has been extended to 2024 or early 2025. The spacecraft, which is being developed by ISRO, consists of service module and a crew module. These two modules will be developed and they are collectively called as orbital module. And GSLV MP3 is a launch vehicle responsible for carrying the orbital module. It will be the first time that India will launch its manned mission to the space and making the 4th country to have sent a person to space, human to space. So since GSLV is carrying the orbital module, that is service and crew module into the space, what does GSLV MK3 mean? It is a launch vehicle which is the 3-stage heavy lift launch vehicle useful for carrying the orbital module. It is 3-stage: solid, liquid and cryogenic state. These are the 3 stages of GSLV MK3. And it is right now the heavy lift launch vehicle of ISRO. It could able to lift about 4,000 metric tons, which is very higher than GSLV and PSL, which is the workhorse for India. So what we needed to study further is, since we have studied about GSLV, we have to know about what this SSLV means, PSLV means and GSLV means. And also we should know about different types of orbits in the space. And also we should know about the Chandrayaan 3 mission, which is going to be launched in space in the upcoming weeks. And what is the Artemis Accord signed by India with US? Artemis Accord is nothing but an accord designed by US Defense Department and NASA to use the space for the civil purpose. Right now, India has joined as 27th member of Artemis Accord. So we have to know about the aim of the Artemis Accord. Who are all the other members other than India who are all part of the Artemis Accord? These are all the things which we needed to know, so that we could able to have some broader understanding about the news itself. So we will look into the UPSC prelims question which was asked in relation to the news that appeared today. In the context of space technology, what is Bhuvan? Recently seen in the news. It is the 2010 prelims question. It is geospatial portal of ISRO with 3D imaging capability of India. This is the answer for this question. And this is the UPSC mains question which was asked in 2019. What is India's plan to have its own space station and how will it benefit our space program? I want those students, those who are watching the current affairs session online, please do comment answer point for this question in the comment section so that there could be enriching and the learning of viewpoints will take place. So, thank you, students. Thank you, students, for watching the daily current affairs session. Please do comment, subscribe, like, and share the daily current affairs video so that everyone could be benefited out of this session. And also subscribe to the Ganesh IAS Academy YouTube channel so that you could be able to get daily notification related to the daily current affairs session and also other sessions which will be brought to you by Ganesh IAS Academy. Thank you.